Right. So I think at some point we will get some allocation. There's probably going to be some OTC deals to probably get very larger players at some point, I would imagine, right? I know that they're working right now on a hex kind of grayscale fund, basically, and I think that's going to be pretty useful to keep to get. It's all locked up 555 stakes or so. They may end up doing 10-year stakes. I'm not sure, but like I'll have to really like dig in with them. But I think it's all 15-year stakes. I think that's going to be an important issue, important thing right there. And actually, that's going to be a really interesting sort of place because I think they'll mostly be grabbing either OTC, so some larger players who are trying to dump and stuff like it will take off that selling pressure. Hopefully, there's always an asshole who's going to sell in the market, just market sell, not even stagger it out
Yeah.
or LP it or whatever the hell to get liquidity and stuff. But there's gonna be some bigger players because as this stuff gets larger and larger and larger, right? In the price and stuff, it would be cool to have these kind of places. I mean, like even though I don't recommend that exchange, what's called Maxi or
Yeah.
the first real exchange in a long time to actually list hex is doing very well. They're doing a lot of purchases in there and stuff like that. I'm not sure if they're market buying right now, but I'm pretty sure there's probably somebody set up there just putting their hex in there and people are buying it and stuff. So that's an interesting
Yeah.
one. Once you have these exchanges and stuff, like exchanges will probably make like private deals with people, just be like, hey, you can get supply here so you don't get wicked out. Just give me a stable price. And then they're selling it or trading it there, and then it has much less of a negative effect on the market and stuff. Just taking that selling pressure away is incredible. Or if not, if they're just going on the open market, even better, even better. It's like, oh crap,
Yeah.
Coinbase is out of hex and stuff. Time to go buy $5 million on the open market. Brrr.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they go sell it on their exchange and stuff. So obviously, I don't think they'll do that craziness, but like at some point, I mean, it's not impossible. Like we will have exchange listings. I think more towards the tail end of the cycle. So I think in like late 20, like maybe like quarter one, quarter two of 2025, we'll start seeing a lot of exchange listings. Um, we'll start getting kind of like the B list, C list players probably at the middle of 24 to like late 24 and stuff. So we'll have a little like dominoes fall, and then we'll actually get one major player probably because I don't think we're going to get all of them, but we may get
Yeah.
one major, maybe a Kraken or something. We'll decide, let's get this shit cracking, you know.
Get cracking. I like that. Yeah, I think one thing that a lot of people just don't understand, and maybe they only been here for a year or two, they came in with PulseChain or otherwise, and they haven't watched Richard and understood his mission, all that for a while. It goes back to delayed gratification. Like
Yeah,
everything that happens, you can map it back to Hex as a product. You can map waiting for PulseChain for 2 years. You can chalk that up. I mean, obviously there's some technical stuff changing from BSC and all that
right,
stuff
right,
too,
right.
but just in general, like even me and Dave and Peter were talking last night. Hey, what if the bridge doesn't come in a month? Imagine how many weak hands, how many people are going to ratio trade everything away. They can't wait to get out of PulseChain. And I think that's a feature. I think that's, the dumps, hex price go down. I don't think it's supposed
I,
to go up
I I don't want
forever.
you to unmonetize my channel, man. Like, stop talking about the Saudis, bro, right now. I mean, you're scaring me.
Oh God. Oh God. Yeah.
The Saudis.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
man,
a
but it's true. Like
that.
like that's why like we could get in like there is like if I had to put a percentage on it, like is the bridge going to be open within the first day? I'd put damn near like a 90% chance. No, absolutely not. But
Like three to 30 days. Max.
yeah, it's in within that range though. Yeah, but if it is 30 a month without the bridge, interesting. It's really really interesting. I don't think enough people have even real like I've heard a lot of people like PX and this and all that, but like I'll give you guys a little sauce here, right? This isn't really that crazy, but like if think about this, what's going to be the most valuable token on when we okay? So let's just say there's no bridge, right? So we have what PulseX, PulseChain, PHEX, and then maybe PHedron being worth something and something. But let's just talk about the big three, right? PHEX, PulseChain, and PulseX, right? Well, PHEX is going to be the most valuable token dollar wise, off the rip. Think about it. So let's just say around that time, snapshot wise, we're probably getting 30 to 40 cents on Hex on the snapshot, just off of where the price is right now. I mean, right now we're at 8 cents. Once a snapshot gets a little closer, people are like, oh shit, this thing might launch. Holy crap, crap, crap. We'll hit the 13 cents and then it'll crack up and stuff like that. So, like, the worst case, I think personally for the snapshot, because it looks like we're probably going to get like an 8 hour notice, if that. Like, I don't think we're getting 24 hours anymore. Like, we're just gonna, hey, pulse. Knowing Richard, probably if I had to guesstimate like him, he's probably gonna say, hey, yep. Imagine it's the middle of your night, and let's because 00 UTC time, I think on the Pacific on the West Coast, it might be like 5 p.m. Right? So imagine that like it's 2 a.m. He says, yeah, we're gonna end up having it at 0 UTC time or at this block number, and then it ends up being the 0 UTC time. So we're like, holy shit, we got 18 hours. I mean, the price would pretty much go to 25 cents, like minimum. Not bad, right?
Oh.
30 cents, but if we had like 3 days, if like Richard said, hey, you know, the snapshot's going to be in 3 days, 3 días, let me do the German way, 3 days, right? The price would probably get to 40 cents plus. But there's just not like, but he's pretty much kind of hinted that no, it's going to happen at any time. So, and then he's also said, like, I've had a lot of people like, because there's a lot of very misinformed people that said like, there's going to be no snapshot, there's no fork, bro. And then Richard literally said like, oh yeah, the snapshot hasn't happened yet, bros. It's going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. So, yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, there's got to be a block height, right? There's got to be something where at a certain point, the fork becomes the fork, and it is another network at some point. So, I want to say though about the ratio trade, and the thing about ratio trading is you can't really dump in ratio trade. Like you can't dump into fiat and get out because there's no bridge. So you got to dump into something. So I wonder where all that, like if you're going to dump your PulseChain, you're going to dump your PulseX, you're going to dump your hex, what are you going to dump it into? Or are you going to dump everything else into those?
It's Zen, baby. Where else am I going besides Zen, bro? All in, bro.
We getting those copies? We getting those copies? Wow.
That would be some dope shit if Richard says, not Zen.
I would crack up.
Yo, Richard.
Like, yeah.
Richard, if you're watching, I'll put the word out and stuff to fucking Gary and everybody else and shit. Yo, if that's because like, look, I think Richard said this before. You would probably end up knowing actually the date because you have all the videos. But Richard has said this, like, how stupid was it for Bitcoin Cash to have you gave all your enemies the weapon to kill you. Like I said this on previous Moon Gangs on Charlie's channel. I've said, hey, what Roger Ver should have done is anyone who had 100 Bitcoin or less would have got the free coins. Like people give a lot of bullshit to like Pulse Doge, but Pulse Doge did the correct thing I think here. They gave the maximum amount of coins to dolphins and the lower tiers, and they cucked out the sharks and dolphins. I mean the sharks and the whales. Yeah, because the sharks and the whales don't need it if they really want to get it, because they're only going to hurt the price. I mean, like, there's certain like very public figures in the Hex community that all they do is dump their fucking tokens and shit. And there's actually some of these tokens are actually decent, like, and they just keep dumping it on the market and stuff. It's just extra liquidity for them. But I mean, it's, I guess in the normal sense, it's distributing coin supply over time and stuff. So it's their loss, short-term gains, long-term loss on some of these tokens. But still, like you don't want to give some of these bigger, like, let them buy in. Give them an amount to play around with, sure, but like you want the middle class or like the upper middle class, like where the people that I would say like if this was the U.S. economy, the dolphins are really the small business owner, the actual people who are actually keeping the ecosystem alive, right? The ones with the most skin in the game versus like, but not enough where like they're like just they could destroy it and monopolize it. It's a very large group and very powerful, right? As well as the the squids and the turtles. The squids, turtles, and the dolphins are hex. That's the hexagons right there. Like there's like 100 and some change sharks, right? And those 100 and change sharks, half of them are probably double wallets, if I'm being fucking honest. So it's like 40 to 30 dudes, tops, maybe one chick in there. Well, actually, there's two chicks. There's two chicks. I know for a fact. But and then the whales. I mean, they're all dudes. So let's be real. Let's not even joke around about that. Like the whales are like, and the same thing with the whales, right? Like that's what I'm saying. It's like we're talking about like if you add whales and shark wallets, it's like fucking not even 40 people.
Yeah, I mean, I think Richard's focused on onboarding too. I think that's one of his priorities for PulseChain, and it makes sense that he would. I don't think he would be excluding communities just because that, even though, we joke it'd be funny if that happened for certain communities that he's talked about not liking or for one reason or another. But I think the growth and like the network effect that he wants PulseChain to have needs to have everyone in it, as many people as possible. Now, if he blacklists some wallets or whatever, exchanges, blah, 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 that's like a separate deal. But like as far as communities go and coins, I think it's going to be insane to see the race to which ones have value and I want to see the stats of how many people start using PulseChain because they had a coin that got copied over. I want to see those top 10 stats.
Some Shibas, baby.
It's going to be unbelievable.
Some Shibas.
The Shibs, yeah.
I really believe it's going to be the Shiba people. I really do, because it's like